I made a video about this Disabled American Veteran ID the other day on Instagram that went incredibly viral, and so I wanted to make a video for y'all showcasing all 9 of the DoD and VA identification cards, how to get them, and why you might want them. The very first, the 100% Disabled American Veteran ID card, which I just received last week. In order to be eligible for this identification, you have to have been honorably discharged and either be a 100% permanent and total disabled American veteran or 100% unemployable, i.e. 100% TDIU, which is the rating that says you can't actually work because of your disabilities. In order to receive this identification card, I had to provide basically 3 things. So the first was 2 forms of identification. I know that's 2 things in one, but I used my driver's license and my global entry. You could use your birth cert, your social security, a passport, just 2 forms of identification. I would probably opt for photo IDs if you have them. Obviously government issued, there's a list on the website, whatever. I went driver's license, global entry. On top of that, you also need to bring them your DD-214, showing an honorable discharge and service. And the third thing is you need your VA ratings letter, i.e. the letter that comes from the VA that states your disability. Basically, this identification allows you commissary access, base access, MWR access. It doesn't come with TRICARE. It's not anything crazy. It's not a retired ID, but it allows you base access, commissary access, and some of those basic shopping privileges if you live near an installation. Okay, the second form of identification from the DoD is the Medal of Honor recipient identification. If you're watching this and you're a Medal of Honor recipient and you don't know that you rate an ID card for being a Medal of Honor recipient, I hope you subscribe, but also, I don't know. I feel like they probably would have walked you through this. Basically, you need to be able to prove you're a Medal of Honor recipient. I just found that one interesting because I actually did not know they get their own identification card as a Medal of Honor recipient. God forbid Dakota Meyer loses that thing and somebody picks it up and is like, oh, look at me. I don't know. Like, there's not a whole lot of MOH recipients running around. The third ID card here is the Retired Reserve Gray Area card, which is somebody who's retired from the reserves. They've done 20 good years, but they are not 60 yet. So they're in that gray area between retiring and not yet fully pension collecting retiree. Basically for this, you need a DD-214, a notice of eligibility, and your retired pay orders, which will showcase that you rate this ID. This identification, similarly to the 100% P&T ID, allows you commissary NWR but not TRICARE eligibility. The fourth one here is the Retired Reserve actual ID for retirees once they've hit age 60. If you are 60 years of age and not 65 yet, you need your retired pay orders. If you're 65, you'll need your Medicare Part B, which is your 1172 TAC 2, whatever documentation, as well as 2 identification forms. This one does mean that you have the TRICARE and MTF as well as your commissary and your MWR and everything else, because now you're in retire status, no longer gray area for non-regular retirement. Number 5 is the retired member. This is the identification for somebody who is active duty and has since retired, and now they've got their little retiree ID, which is kind of funny because when I made this video on Instagram, there were all kinds of people in the comments who were like, that's a retirement ID, that's a retiree ID, don't listen to them. There was even people calling me a scammer or a fraud, and I'm like, okay, first off, this says 100% disabled American veteran, expires in death. Seems pretty cut and dry, and I'm holding it, and it's from the VA or the DoD. Secondly, I did 13 years active duty, did not get medically retired, so I am not a retiree. I walked away without retiring, and so I would know whether this is a retiree ID or not, because I'm not eligible for retiree ID. For documentation, 2 forms of identification, DD-214, or if you are 65, you can use your Medicare Part 2, that 1172-2 form, to show this. And this gives you all of the normal benefits with being a retiree. Includes TRICARE, Direct Care and MTFs, MWR, commissary, on-base access, all the other perks that come with being a retired veteran. Number 6 is a transitional healthcare or recently separated identification for people who were medically retired. This is for certain members who are separated and require 180 days of medical assistance or medical benefits. So there's a whole program in the TAMP or THC policy that'll talk about all of this. This identification specifically is for them. It's for 180 days and it's for that time window. It does give you that TRICARE and MTF benefit as well as, the commissary, MWR, and all that stuff. Now, there is a former member card as number 7, which is for guard or reservists who are going to receive non-regular pay at age 60, but may not have made it all the way to the retiree side. I actually don't know all of the criteria that goes into becoming a former member, but I assume that if you fit this trend or this group, you would know because you are the former member, and this is kind of the reserve side of the house, which I spent 95% of my time as active duty. I'm very minimally knowledge on the ins and outs of reserve for what would require or constitute a former member. However, they do have an identification for this. This card actually fits into the exact same criteria as the gray area non-regular retiree, which is the same documentation and the same non-TRICARE until age 60, but MWR commissary access, your DD-214, and your NOE/retired pay orders. Okay, the last 2 are your VA IDs. One of these is the Veteran Health Identification Card. You must be enrolled in VA healthcare. This one has to be done at the VA in person. It's bring a current unexpired government photo ID, and it has to have your address. Otherwise, you need to bring a separate address document like city utilities. And you can also do it via Access VA online. And this one basically just helps you with medical appointments at the VA. This one's widely accepted as a retail veteran discount identification card. It does allow some on-base privileges for certain veterans and caregivers since January of 2020. So if you have service-connected disability, 0 to 90%, Purple Heart recipient, former POW, approved VA caregivers, you can all use this VHIC to access the commissary, the MWR, the exchange, but it must show service-connected Purple Heart or former POW in order to get that access. And again, that access is controlled locally, so depending on FCON levels, you might not get it. Now, number 9 is this sexy bad boy right here that they give you on a piece of paper. You can apply via the va.gov website. I'm gonna send this over here for you guys. Ooh, buddy. And basically, this says choose VA. It is the veteran identification card with a really nasty photo of myself that I uploaded via the internet. And it says, this card serves as proof of service in the uniformed services of the United States military, does not reflect entitlement to any benefits administered by the Department of Veteran Affairs. And then it has an address or a date. And basically, I obviously blew this up 200%, but you get the normal size version, and then you would take, I would imagine you would do this like recruit tape, where you take clear tape and you laminate it yourself, and there you go. You've made yourself a veteran ID card. Basically just for everybody, but this is for active duty, reserves, guard, honorable or general, under honorable discharge, so not BCD or whatever. You have to upload your discharge papers to verify. You go to va.gov, you apply online, you submit your DD-214, your or other like the 256 or 257, NGB 22, whatever, one of those documents, a current government ID, so your driver's license, a headshot or a head and shoulders photo, and then they give you this digital card that you can print or keep on your phone that just shows you're legit. This is basically just for retail discounts. It does not prove eligibility for any federal benefits. It does not grant base access, commissary, or exchange access. Basically, this is for the guy who wants to take it a level past wearing the red hat. And you're like, yo, I want a freaking ID card to be like, boom, thank me for my service. That's basically what this is. It does nothing for you other than say, been there, done that, got the ID card, and give you some level of benefits. So basically for all of these, you're going to want your DD-214, your 1172-2 if you're 65 or older, 2 forms of identification, and eligibility proof, which means, either your notice of entitlement or your retired pay letter, 100% DAV letter from the VA, your Medal of Honor confirmation recipient status, whatever, Medicare Part B, the THC or TAMP documentation for the temporary health card. Long, short, right? This is a comprehensive list of the veteran IDs out there. If I somehow missed one, please comment it down below. Or, if you've got questions, comment them down below. But I hope this helps you. The ones that I found the most beneficial that I didn't actually know about are really this guy. My buddy told me about this once I got to 100% PNT, and I had no idea that I could get an in-depth, approved identification card from the VA or from the DOD that is legit and counts for all the things. And from my understanding, don't quote me on this, from my understanding, that actually counts as a real ID while flying as well. So you don't need to carry your passport, global entry, or get a real ID outside of your driver's license. And that's pretty cool. So it gives you a little bit of benefits, but more importantly, it's just a nice card to have that validates if you tell people yeah, I'm a disabled vet, and they're like, flip out. You're like, no, actually, like, got the ID card from the DoD saying I'm legit. I did get read up in wherever. But long, short, a lot of identification options out there. Choose the one that best fits you. Happy hunting. And if you found something useful or valuable out of this, please share it with another veteran or subscribe. Or both if you're an overachiever. Have a great day. Love you guys.